StrayAllDay.com. StrayAllDay.com. WorkOnYourGame.com. Today's daily discipline is every dollar is not equal. This is an important one, especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs and those of you who are in sales. I have this kind of conversation, maybe not in so many words, but this kind of conversation with a lot of my clients in Work On Your Game University, which I'll tell you about later, in that because online these days, and a lot of people do a lot of their business online, and some people all of their business online, there are so many different options for what you can do and what you can sell and how you can get your stuff out there online that many people end up pulling themselves in way too many different directions when it comes to how you can make a dollar in your business. Now, while it would be ideal if all of us could just take every single opportunity that we could to make a dollar and have the resources, meaning the people, the mechanisms, the sales processes, the chat bots, the funnels, whatever in place, where every possible dollar we can make, we can go get. The reality is not all of us have all of those resources available at our disposal, which means we have to prioritize and we have to make some tough decisions, sometimes not that tough, but decisions about which dollar do we want to go after. Because the whole point here today is every dollar is not equal, and they are not all equal. So if you have a $10,000 course and you also have a $10 book, which one should you put more time into selling? Most people would say, logically, the $10,000 course, because it's a whole lot more money. It's 1,000 times more money to make one sale. The challenge is, it appears, when you're just looking at that on the surface, it's probably harder to sell a $10,000 course than it is to sell a $10 book. And it usually takes maybe a little bit more work, at least to find the right type of person to which you sell that course. And it probably takes a little bit more steps in the sales process to get someone to part with $10,000 than it does to get someone to part with $10. $10, you might not even have to think that hard. I'll give it a shot. You might not even read the book after you spend $10 on it because you're not that invested. But if you invest $10,000, you're probably going to pay a lot of attention. So people need to be maybe warmed up a little bit more before they make that type of purchase. In theory, all right, this is not a black and white thing. This is just in theory. But the whole point here is what happens with a lot of entrepreneurs is that they instead focus on making those $10 sales of the book instead of the $10,000 sale of the course, simply because it appears easier. It's easier. I could just sell a $10 book, and then after the $10 book, then I can take them up to the $100 thing, then the $500 thing, the $2,000 thing, then get them up to the $10,000 thing. Theoretically, this all makes sense. The problem is, even though, and again, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, I talk to a lot of salespeople, a lot of marketers, some of them good, some of them terrible. And many of them have, in theory, all these ideas. Well, you could do this, then this, then this, then this, and then all these things will work. Well, if that theory was so true, here's the thing that I tell people: if that theory was so true, then you should just be doing that, and you wouldn't even be talking to me, trying to sell me on the idea. You would just be doing it yourself, making all this money, and you could just show me, hey, look what you're doing. Hey, just follow the same thing that I'm doing. You wouldn't be selling me anything. You would just be out selling your stuff. You see, so this is, again, in theory. So the whole point is, the real point that I'm trying to give you all for today's daily discipline is that you need to prioritize which dollars you want to go after. All right, it's not about getting every dollar just because the dollar is available. And you can take this from someone like myself. I've sold products I've sold products for $1. I have sold products up to $50,000 a shot in one transaction with the people that I've sold. I've sold $1 transactions to people. I sold $50,000 transactions to people. And the $1 transaction is not the same as a $50,000 transaction, even if they took the same amount of effort. And many times they can. The thing is, who's behind that $1 transaction? Who's the person you got to deal with based on that $1 transaction? Who's the person you got to deal with based on the $50,000 transaction? How much work do you have to do after the $1 versus how much work you got to do after the 50? These are all things you want to think about. And what kind of people are you attracting if you got a sign up that says $1, or what type of people are you attracting? You got a sign up that says 50,000. These are just a few things. I'm just giving you a primer here on this. I go much deeper on this in episodes of my show, my masterclass called Work on Your Game, which we put the videos on YouTube. They come out later in the audio. The audio, if you want to get the updated every day, follow me on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. Just go to workonyourgamepodcast.com. But the whole point here is, folks, every dollar ain't the same. All right, just because somebody can tell you a way that you can make a dollar does not necessarily mean you need to go follow it, even if they're right. Even if what they're saying could theoretically bring dollars into your pocket, and even if you followed it, it would bring dollars into your pocket. Understand, you only have 24 hours in a day. You only got a certain amount of time, attention, energy, and focus. You can't give it all to every single thing that you see. You got to make some priority decisions about what matters the most and which dollars do you want to go after, when you're running a business, because again, they are not all equal. With all that said, we'll probably talk about this more in future daily discipline videos. But my number to text me, so you're in my text community, I send that out message to everybody in my community every day, guaranteed to have you focused, sharp, and on point every day. Daily motivation every week, Monday motivation. Just hit me at that number, 305-384-6894 is down below in the description. Work on Your Game University. That's the place, the only place I do any coaching, working with anybody directly, whether in group, and I have some spots open for one-on-one. That is at workonyourgameuniversity.com. Links down below in the description. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you're notified every time we drop a new video here on this channel. And work on your game. Dre, all